What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing another transfer video. Today we're going to be looking at 5 strikers that Manchester City could well target in the January transfer window, which obviously is coming up pretty soon. But before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester City news and transfer news, including daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout all of the January winter transfer window, then do subscribe, press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Now less than 200 subscribers away from my target of 21,000 subscribers before the year is out, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram, my email also in the description below too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, leave a thumbs up as well if you do enjoy this video. Once more, aiming for 300 likes. If we could hit that, then that would be fantastic. Which striker would you like to see Manchester City sign in the winter? Let me know in the comments below. And lastly, I'm calling on all men.
This video is brought to you by Manscape.com, the premium global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. Manscape provide the best tools, equipment and liquids for every body part. They have been kind enough to send me the new Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a cordless trimmer with a wireless charging system, providing 90 minutes on one full charge on the lithium-ion battery. The trimmer has LED lights on the front to show battery life, and also on the trimmer for a more precise shave. Ceramic blades with skin-safe technology are provided to help reduce nicks and cuts. 4 trimmer guard options are also available to customize your hair length. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, allowing for easy cleanup. A new travel lock feature is built in to prevent vibrations whilst on the go. So come and join me and 2 million other men worldwide who trust Manscaped when it comes to keeping yourself clean and tidy. Use code JSGC20 for 20% off and free worldwide shipping.
Thank you very much to Manscape.com for sponsoring this video. Today is the last day that you can utilize my 20% off discount code, which is JSGC20, which you can use at checkout, which will give you 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Anyone that does use that code, that would be much appreciated. And like I said, today is the last day that you can do that. So if you do want anything from Manscaped, please help to support the future content created on my channel and go and use that code. Thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Let's crack on though with this video, and we're going to start off by speaking about the first player, no particular order. First one, Kylian Mbappe, the soon-to-be 23-year-old attacker, very high profile. His contract, it's up in the summer. He doesn't want to sign a new deal at PSG, which means he's willing to leave for free in the summer and puts PSG in a really unfamiliar situation. They're kind of backed into a corner. It's very simple for them now. It's either sell in January and get some cash for him, or keep him till the end of the season in the hope that they can win the prestigious prize, the Champions League, and Mbappe will help them towards that goal, or and let him leave for free. So they're the situations that's facing PSG. Manchester City, they could well cash in on that and try and bring in Kylian Mbappe. Now, let's not forget, PSG in the summer rejected a bid of nearly 200 million euros from Real Madrid, which is massive, which means they probably are looking for somewhere between 100 and 200 million euros to tempt them to sell this January. And it's just ridiculous considering you could pick the player up for nothing if you're willing to wait an extra 4 or 5 months. And I see teams being able to do that. Now, the biggest problem we've got is that this transfer is pretty unlikely because we all know where Kylian Mbappe is going to end up. City have been linked, Liverpool have been linked, Real Madrid have been linked. They want him, he wants Real Madrid, and to be honest, I'll be very, very, very surprised if Kylian Mbappe within the next 12 months doesn't end up at Real Madrid. It's a difficult transfer to get done. He's going to want massive, massive wages. You're talking the highest paid player. So it just makes it very difficult. It breaks City's wage structure to be able to do that. And whilst I'd love Mbappe at City, I just don't think that that will happen. But looking at his record from this season, 16 appearances in all competitions, 7 goals. Like I said, I'd like Mbappe. I don't think it's going to happen though. And so instead, we'll move on to another player that has been linked with Manchester City back in the summer. I want to keep an eye on this one as well. Robert Lewandowski. Now, this is more of a summer rather than a winter transfer, if I'm completely honest. But he is the 33-year-old striker for Bayern Munich. His contract is up in June of 2023, which means in January he's going to have 18 months left on his contract. And to be honest, that's quite a good time then to be selling someone that is 33, because Bayern, as class as Robert Lewandowski is for them, would still be able to get a fair amount of money for him. Certainly enough money to help them to be able to sign a quality replacement for them. The problem is there isn't many strikers out there that are as good as what Robert Lewandowski is, and Bayern Munich are going to have to invest money to bring in a striker that is going to obviously replace Lewandowski. Now, Lewandowski is one of them players that's just aging like fine wine. He still knows where the back of the net is, and I can see Lewandowski going on right up until he's 37, 38. Think like what Cristiano Ronaldo is like. And City have to ask themselves, do they want an aging striker who knows where the back of the net is, but probably isn't going to do a lot of running for the team? Is that the striker that City are looking for? Now, if City are just looking for an out-and-out goal scorer, I'd go out there and pay, what, £50+ million, which is probably what it'd take to sign Robert Lewandowski and bring him in, because to me, he completes that last jigsaw puzzle for us. He is a world-class striker who is phenomenal. 17 appearances, 23 goals in all competitions so far. To me, he is the most lethal striker in the world right now, and we could easily get 3 to 5 years out of him. I wouldn't say no at all. I think this is very promising, and I think it's something maybe to keep an eye on in the summer rather than in the winter, because I just don't see Bayern Munich letting someone as class as Lewandowski leave when they don't need to in the January transfer window. But would love to know your thoughts of Lewandowski in the comments below. Now, Harry Kane, he's another player that's been heavily linked with Manchester City, and the rumours, they have gone away, but they're not fully gone away, and he's been back in the headlines once more. He's a 28-year-old English striker who plays, of course, for Tottenham Hotspur. He now has 2.5 years left on his contract at Tottenham Hotspur. His value will naturally, since the summer, have gone down from that of what Spurs were asking in the summer, which was £150 million. Manchester City in the summer were willing to spend around £120 million to try and bring him in. I imagine if City do make any move, it would be less than £100 million now. And like I said, Kane hasn't been really setting the world alight when it's come to his goal-scoring abilities for Tottenham Hotspur this season, with 16 appearances himself, 7 goals in all competitions, and most of them goals have come in the Europa League as well. I have also heard murmurs that Harry Kane is happy with Antonio Conte being appointed as the new Tottenham Hotspur manager, and so with him coming in, he's going to sit down, naturally see how it goes. I've got a feeling Kane will probably decide on his future, probably not in January, but by the end of the season, seeing where Spurs lie, how they're getting on under Antonio Conte, and then deciding on his future from there. I'll be very surprised if Harry Kane remains at Tottenham Hotspur if they don't make the Champions League, though, by the end of the season. It's getting to a point where Harry Kane will want to win Premier Leagues, Champions League and major trophies and stuff, and I just think that something's going to come to an end with this saga within the next, 7 or 8 months by the time that the summer transfer window is done. Will it be at Spurs? Will it be at Manchester City? I've heard United's name's been chucked out there as well. That remains to be seen. Now, looking at plan B for me, Dusan Vlahovic. We have spoke about him in my last video when I had a look at 5 players that Manchester City could sign in the January transfer window. If you haven't gone and checked that video out, do go and check it out. Very interesting video. But he turns 22 in January, plays for Fiorentina, Serbian striker who wants to leave Fiorentina, so it makes life very simple, really, in terms of a transfer. 13 appearances, 10 goals in all competitions. He's a good finisher, powerful, typical physical striker, would more than likely suit the Premier League. Apparently likes to play as a target man. Not too sure if that would suit Manchester City or not, but to me, like I said, I do think he'd be a good Premier League striker. Now, Fiorentina, they're believed to be asking for around 70 to 80 million euros to sign him. To me, expensive. It is a risk. He's coming from Serie A into the Premier League. There is no guarantee that he'll come to the Premier League, hit the ground running, and set the world alight. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. But I do think that if he became available for an affordable price, then I do think he certainly would be a really good option for Manchester City. Now, we know there is interest from elsewhere. Also in the Premier League, Arsenal, they have been linked as well. This is on the back of Alexandre Lacazette wanting to leave Arsenal, that if he should leave and to free up some funds to be able to afford his wages, because he's asking for more wages, the big problem Arsenal are having at this moment in time, so they can sell Lacazette and free up some wage. They've got the money apparently there to play for Dusan Vlahovic. It'd be an upfront fee, probably looking at around £50 million plus some nice add-ons and bonuses and things like that. The deal probably would add up to around 65, 70 70 million euros by the time you're done with everything. And so we'll have to wait and see with what happens to that. I do feel like Vlahovic will sit down and wait to see if any offers come in from other clubs that are in the Champions League. But if that doesn't happen, then I could well see him go into Arsenal as a replacement for Lacazette. And like I said, I think it'd be a good plan B for Manchester City, the backup option, if we don't get any of our first choice targets. But I think he might be snapped up before we do get into that situation. Now, the last player that I want to have a look at is Erling Harland, 21-year-old Norwegian striker. Born in Leeds, of all places, but plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's been heavily linked with Manchester City. Right now, no one else has really been linked with Erling Haaland. We know he's got a 70 million euros release clause active in the summer. Dortmund could be tempted to do a bit of business in January with him. If a higher offer does come in, they might be tempted to sell for someone to have first dibs on Erling Haaland. But as of right now, I have not heard that is the case, so we'll have to see what happens there. But the big problem we've got with this transfer is his wage. It's massive demands. He's wanting £400,000 to £500,000 per week, which would see him become Manchester City's highest paid player. City have already expressed concerns over an apparent injury problem with his flexor, so we'll have to see what City regard with that. We know his representative fees are going to be very expensive. We know his agent fees, with Raiola being his agent, is going to make it very expensive as well. This isn't a simple 70 million euros release clause and we bring Erling Haaland in. It's going to take a lot of effort to get this transfer done, and like I said, while City are the only team being linked, should other clubs get the indication that they can afford Erling Haaland, they'll be in for him as well. We know United, more than likely with Cavani leaving by the summer, they may well be interested in signing a striker, and United can match us pound for pound with finances. We saw that with the Ronaldo deal, and Man United wouldn't have any problem with paying that £400,000 to £500,000 per week in wages as well. To me, just like Vlahovic, though, there is no guarantee that Haaland will come to the Premier League. Whilst he's got all the attributes of what would make him a very successful Premier League striker, no guarantees he'd come to the Premier League and hit the ground running and set the world alight. So I do think he would, but that remains to be seen. City do have one good thing here, though. We have good relations with his representatives, which includes his father, of course, Alfie Harland, former Manchester City man as well. And apparently his dad wants him to go to a club that is the best that makes sense for his progress, and working with a manager like Pep Guardiola would probably appeal, or it would to me if I was a top-class football player, than working with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So we'll see what happens there. The transfer is doable, just very difficult. Will it be done in January? Depends if Dortmund want to cash in and get some more money or not. For what it's worth for Dortmund, I don't think that they will. They'll want to keep Harland so they can have a successful season, get back into the Champions League, keep the money coming in that way, get the crowds into the stadium as well. Harland is a player that will bring a crowd. People want to go and watch Dortmund, they want to go and watch Erling Haaland play. And so, yeah, I just think they'll keep hold of him for as long as possible until that release clause does become active, which, of course, could be activated straight after the January transfer window in February. It's not something that is unfamiliar, that doesn't happen in Germany, because it does. So, we'll see. But, yeah, there we go. 12 appearances for him, 13 goals so far this season, having a pretty good season. Now, got some honourable mentions, just want to chuck some players out there. Now, one player I'd like to see mentioned, isn't really getting linked with Manchester City, is Karim Adeyemi. I hope I said his name right, but he's a 19-year-old striker that plays for RB Salzburg, turned 20 in January, recently called up to the German national team, scored 14 goals in 17 games so far this season as well. The problem is he's got very close ties to Bayern Munich, born in Bayern Munich, from their academy, produced by them as well, and Bayern Munich are interested in bringing him in as well. Liverpool have been linked, like I said, City haven't really been mentioned, but certainly something I myself am keeping an eye on. Another player to be considered to me is Joao Felix, 21-year-old Portuguese attacker, plays for Atletico Madrid, 11 appearances, 1 goal, not really setting the world alight. To me, has bags of potential and would really suit our attack, playing under Pep Guardiola. We've seen lots of players come from Portugal, go to Pep Guardiola, improve their game. I'm talking players like Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, just to name a few, and I think Joao Cancelo could become another player to fit in there. Problem is, pretty expensive. He signed for Atletico Madrid for 120 million euros. I imagine they'll probably want that money back, and his record that he's got for them just doesn't suggest that that is value for money. I think that's pretty crucial when it comes to signing a striker, that we are getting value for money, and I don't think City will go for that, but I could be wrong. And another player, Darwin Nunez. We know Manchester City are scouting him, plays for Benfica, 22-year-old Uruguayan striker. 13 appearances so far in all competitions and scored 8 goals, not doing too bad. Starting to find his feet well. He's looked good in the Champions League, 3 goals in 4 appearances for Benfica. And like I said, City are known to be having a look at him. We know he'll be expensive. He's got a €150 million release clause. We know we won't go anywhere near that. But Benfica, they drive a hard bargain, and it would be an expensive transfer for what would be a relatively unproven striker, certainly when it comes to the physicality of the Premier League. But as I mentioned before with Joao Felix, players that come from Portugal, although he may be from Uruguay, but has played in Portugal, that come to Manchester City, have most times been very successful for us, so we'll see what direction we go in. I know I've not mentioned Nkunku. I know he's getting linked with Manchester City. To me, more of a winger, more of an attacking midfielder rather than the Sergio Aguero striker that we're looking at. Could he play in that false 9? Maybe. There we go. I've just chosen not to include him, but I did want to give him a little mention there because I know he's getting linked. I know Isaac as well, the Swedish striker, he keeps getting mentioned all the time, but he hasn't been linked with a move to Manchester City. I know he's getting linked with a move to Arsenal, but I've not heard City's name mentioned there. And I'm not all familiar with him, so again, like Nkunku, I've chosen not to include him in this video, but I did want to mention him just in case City do end up making a move, which neither names would surprise me if City did end up doing that. So there we go. They're my thoughts. They're 5 strikers Manchester City could well target in the January transfer window. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which striker would you like to see Manchester City sign in January? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below, sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up as well if you do enjoy this video. Aiming for 300 likes once more. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. Daily Manchester City transfer videos coming up in the January transfer window throughout all of January, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester City transfer news this winter. Also aiming for 21k subscribers, less than 200 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Lastly, whilst it's on offer for you guys for 1 day only, for today, so go and utilise it if you can and you're watching this, 20% off with Manscape.com. Go and use my code JSGC20 at checkout, get yourself 20% off and free worldwide shipping. I wanted to say a big thank you to Manscaped one more time for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all again very soon for the next Manchester City video, which I'm going to have a look at some fullbacks, which will be coming up in a few days for you guys to enjoy. International break, international football. There we go. Plenty of opportunities though for me to get some transfer videos out. Do hope you guys are enjoying them. I hope everyone is safe and well too. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I've been JSGC. Peace. Ciao for now.